Once upon a time at March 23, 2023, a man named Techman established his glory, and here is how. James Ronald was a great scientist who was studying time travel, but no one knew he was actually doing something else too. He was amazed by the use of technology around the world, so for almost 3 years he has been studying technology. I mean, everyone studies technology, right? Scientists from all around the world. So what do I mean by studying technology? He was learning to control them. How? He noticed that there are times we really need to use more technology than possible. He wanted to control different pieces of tech at the same time. As he built a watch to do so, it would follow his brain waves to control technology, and not a lot of time later it happened. Someone did know it was a beggar on the streets. He was indeed pleased by how he dressed, so the beggar followed him, and very much unlikely this beggar passed high school, so he was smart. He went ahead to complain about this when the watch suddenly went out of control, and James aka Techman thought he could simply break it, but an anomaly was set up and the watch merged with his brains, giving him powers to control everything that had internet or anything digital in it. Basically, he could see from CCTV cameras all around the world. As so, the beggar was pleased, although he was really injured by the anomaly, and taking his dying breath he said to James Ronald, "So you can control the tech from all around the world, huh?" Like Techman. He died seconds after he said that. Then he saw 2 banks being robbed with the CCTV cameras in those banks. He projected it onto the police station's TV. However, he knew he had to do something, so he realized many people had an electric lighter in one bank, so he used them to surround the robbers. First he burned their hands so they couldn't use their guns, and then made a ring of fire near them, making 100% sure the civilians were safe. Then he used the speakers to relay a message, but there was another bank to be taken care of. The civilians had no kind of weapon he could use, so he ran as fast as he could. Then he realized he can control cars too, so he got a car and went as fast as he could. Between that time the police arrived and took care of them, so Techman thought he should flee, so he booked himself a flight ticket. He was really rich, so he could buy first-class seats, and then he was bored, so he thought that he needs a suit, just something for boredom. So he had his laptop. He used it to pick the design for his suit. Then he landed in New York, where his old classmate works. He figured if there is anyone who can help him, it's his classmate. His name was Mike Odek. He was a scientist too. He helped out the government along with another team of scientists, but he thought the government was too much pressure, so he left. But science was his favorite thing to do. It was basically the only thing he can do, so Techman thought he could be a big help and a good partner, and then they worked on his suit. It was easy to make since they were both geniuses, but it's always hard to convince a genius. It took James or Techman quite a lot of time to make Mike Odek believe him, but Mike Odek is always interested in something new, so he helped Techman out. Also, he thought that they could have a hero since New York's crime rate 9%, and then comes the military trying out a nuke. It was small and not that harmful, so they thought they can try it out on a completely empty desert, but something went wrong with the aiming system of the jet, so the nuke was headed for New York now. And just when Techman couldn't be more shocked, he is more shocked when he saw the green nuke from the roof. It was currently March 25, 2023. It had been 2 days since Techman got his powers and the beggar died, so now his powers grew stronger as the watch's abilities start connecting with Techman's mind, so he could control more than just objects that have digital systems in them. He could control metal too, but he had a limit of 2 minutes. He could die, and not just that, the metal would be crumpled like a paper. In case of a nuke, it would kill the entire population of New York and the airplanes to instead use a helicopter, since he can control any vehicle to evacuate nearby civilians. And then he had a booster in his shoes to help him fly, so he decided if he could just change his direction that would be enough. But Mike Odek's calculations said it would take 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Techman won't die, but there is a chance he would get in a coma. Techman said he is willing to take the risk. As he proceeded, there was a problem. The military had a plan. They were going to send another nuke, said by their scientists that it might cancel out the other one, but Techman knew there was a 78% chance of it failing, so he had 2 hands. He could control 2 at the same time, but they need to align with each other, as the other one the military fired was faster than the other one. He had to wait for the right time. 1 second too early or late, the entire New York would be blown out and radiation will go to other cities around New York. He waited for the right time. Mike Odek warned him of the risk of him going into coma again, and without hesitation he said, "I would gladly die," and did it. Exactly 2 minutes and 18 seconds later, the nuke's direction was changed and Techman started falling, but Mike Odek had a system override to his suit so he could save him, and his identity was revealed to everyone and he was branded a hero, but he fell into a coma and maybe he won't wake up. Well, we will know soon.